Have you ever stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering how you'll make rent again? Maybe you've counted coins in the parking lot before walking into the grocery store with your kids. Maybe you've smiled at your children while quietly breaking inside, hiding the fear behind your tired eyes. Maybe you've worked 2 jobs and still felt like you were sinking deeper every single month. If any of this feels familiar, this story was written for someone exactly like you tonight. Because what you're about to hear is not loud, not flashy, and not magical at all. It's the quiet kind of strength that rebuilds a family from the ground up, one small decision daily. Stay with me until the end, because the lesson hidden inside this story can change generations after you. This is the story of a woman who had nothing but refused to pass her pain down. Her name was Marlene, and she was 34, living in a small apartment in Toledo, Ohio. She raised 3 children alone after their father walked out one cold November morning, never returning. Marlene worked nights cleaning a hospital, then weekends helping at a small daycare across town. Her oldest, Jamal, was 9, quiet and watchful, already noticing every bill stuck to the fridge. Her middle child, Aria, was 6, full of laughter, drawing pictures of houses they could not afford. Her youngest, Eli, was 3, always reaching for her face whenever she sat down to cry. Marlene loved them more than her own breath, but love alone could not pay the heating bill. Her alarm rang at 4:30 a.m., and she'd stare at the cracked ceiling, gathering the courage to rise. She'd microwave yesterday's coffee, pack 3 lunches from whatever was left, and whisper a small prayer. She'd kiss her sleeping children, lock the door softly, and walk to the bus stop in heavy snow. At work, she scrubbed floors while richer people slept, her back aching, her hands raw from bleach. She'd come home to overdue notices, a leaking faucet, and a refrigerator humming louder than her hope. Some nights she sat on the bathroom floor, biting a towel so the children wouldn't hear her cry. She had tried to fix things many times before, in loud, desperate, exhausting ways that never lasted. She tried side hustles she couldn't sustain, online courses she abandoned, and budgets she rewrote every Sunday. She tried waking at 4 a.m. to journal, meditate, exercise, and study, all in one impossible morning. She believed change had to be huge, fast, and dramatic, or it didn't truly count as change. So every burst of motivation collapsed within 2 weeks, leaving her feeling more broken than before. She thought she was lazy, weak, cursed, or simply not built for the kind of life others enjoyed. Then came the night that broke her completely. The night she still remembers in painful, perfect detail. Jamal came home from school holding a crumpled paper, his small face heavy with quiet shame. "Mom," he whispered, "the teacher said our family needs help. She gave me this food pantry list." Marlene smiled gently, took the paper, walked into the bathroom, and sank slowly to the cold tile. She stared at her reflection and saw her own mother's tired eyes staring back at her. She realized her children were inheriting the same poverty, the same shame, the same invisible chains. That night, something inside her did not break. It sharpened, like a blade pulled from deep fire. The next morning, she stopped at a small church basement where free community workshops were held weekly. A quiet older woman named Ms. Doreen taught a class on money, habits, and rebuilding household. Ms. Doreen had silver hair, gentle hands, and a voice that sounded like a calm Sunday afternoon. After class, Marlene stayed behind, eyes wet, and asked, "How do people like me actually escape this?" Ms. Doreen looked at her kindly and said one sentence Marlene would carry for the rest of her life. "Child, you don't break poverty with big leaps, you break it with small, boring daily discipline." Marlene blinked, confused, expecting a secret strategy, a hidden program or some powerful financial trick. But Miss Doreen only smiled and said, "Quiet discipline is louder than any dream you've ever shouted." Then she pulled out a small index card and wrote 3 simple rules in steady blue ink. Rule 1, protect $1 from every paycheck, no matter how small, before anything else gets paid. Rule 2, read 10 pages of something useful each night, even if your eyes are barely open. Rule 3, speak only words of belief over your children, never repeating the fears you grew up hearing. 3 rules, Miss Doreen said softly. Do them quietly for 1 year, then come back and tell me. Marlene tucked the card into her wallet like it was the deed to a house she didn't yet own. That first week, the rules felt awkward, almost silly, like wearing shoes that hadn't been broken in yet. Day 1, she set aside $2 from her paycheck and almost cried hiding it inside an old envelope. Day 3, she fell asleep on page 2 of a used finance book she bought for 50 cents. Day 5, she caught herself saying, "We're so broke," in front of Eli and stopped mid-sentence. She corrected herself gently and said, "We're learning to build something better, baby. Mama is figuring it out." Day 7, she wanted to quit, convinced these tiny actions could never undo years of stacked struggle. But she remembered Jamal's face holding that food pantry list, and she kept going one more day. By day 14, the envelope held $28, the most savings she'd ever held in her adult life. By day 21, she had finished her first book and started underlining sentences with a borrowed pencil. By day 30, her children had stopped hearing the words "we can't" and started hearing "we're working on it." 2 months later, Marlene asked her hospital supervisor about training to become a certified patient care technician. He looked surprised, then nodded slowly and quietly added her name to the next free training cycle. 6 months later, she passed her certification exam, her hand shaking as she opened the email at dawn. Her pay rose, her envelope grew, and for the first time she paid every bill before its due date. A year later, she returned to the church basement and found Miss Doreen sitting in the same chair. Marlene placed a small notebook on the table, filled with 1 year of tiny, boring, faithful entries. Ms. Doreen smiled, eyes glistening, and whispered, "That's how generations turn, child. Quietly, one discipline at a time." 3 years later, Marlene moved her children into a small rented house with a yard and a real kitchen. Jamal joined a free coding club, Aria filled sketchbooks with future buildings, and Eli read above his grade level. Marlene was promoted again, opened her first real savings account, and began mentoring 2 younger single mothers nearby. She never became rich, never went viral, never wrote a book, never stood on any famous stage. But her children grew up watching a woman who showed them that discipline is a quieter, deeper kind of love. And one evening, Jamal, now 16, looked at her and said, "Mom, you changed our whole bloodline." Marlene didn't cry that night. She simply nodded, because deep down, she had always known she would. So here is the truth her story leaves behind, the lesson worth carrying into your own tired life. Generational poverty isn't broken by luck, talent, or a single big break that finally rescues you. It's broken by ordinary people who choose unglamorous discipline on days when no one is clapping for them. Big dreams get the spotlight, but small daily habits are the ones quietly rewriting your family's future. You don't need a miracle tonight. You need one boring rule you'll repeat for the next 12 months. So here is your challenge, and I want you to take it seriously starting this very evening. Choose just one tiny discipline tonight, something so small it feels almost embarrassing to commit to publicly. Maybe save $1, read 2 pages, or speak one kind sentence over your child or yourself. Do it every single day for the next 30 days without skipping, without announcing, without needing applause. Then watch how your shoulders, your home, and your future slowly begin to feel different from within. If this story touched something inside you, comment one word below, the discipline you're committing to today. It can be save, read, pray, walk, study, or any quiet promise you're making to yourself tonight. Then subscribe to Purpose Tales, because more stories like Marlene's are coming, written for hearts exactly like yours. And remember this, friend, on every long night when discipline feels invisible and your progress feels painfully slow, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply early in a story the world hasn't seen yet. Stay quiet, stay faithful, stay disciplined, and one day your children will whisper, "You changed everything for us."